Near protocol is like the only one that's in like a buying area. If you look at Chainlink, right, it has to pull back a lot more. And then if you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, these are all weekly and monthly time frames, right? So these are higher time frames. So if you look at Bitcoin, if you look at Ethereum, you can see that these have to pull back a little bit more. Another one that's in a good buy area is Atom, right? Cosmos. This is a layer one crypto. You know, I still would just because the market is so bearish right now, I would rather see it just go ahead and sweep all-time lows. But I do think a lot of these cryptos are setting up for some really good buys for like the long term. You know, imagine buying all the way down here. If you can get Cosmos for $1, right, which is Atom, right? So we're looking at ATOM USDT, right? Or it could just be USD, right? That's Atom. If you get in $1 or below from the all-time lows, right, which is at like $1.30, and let's say, you know, we make it all the way back to the highs one day. I don't know how long it's going to take, but that's another almost 40-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I just be trying to put people up on some of these charts, because if you invested just $100 into a play like this and hold it for the long term, if it goes back above its all-time highs, you will make $4,000, right? So this is why some people don't really consider trading to be like, you know, like the lottery or like gambling, because you can actually invest, right? Just the same thing that you would do with Tesla or Nvidia, you can do it with crypto. So let's see, I want to go back and check on our play. As you guys can see, we are still moving up. We're essentially just waiting for this 1 hour candle to close. But if we would have never moved our stop loss, you know, we would have been still going up in profits right now. But I'm not mad about that at all, you know. But we definitely missed out on a lot of profits, you guys. I just like being safe, you know. I like being safe. You guys can see I wasn't going to sit through all of this chop right here. There's no way I'm going to sit through all of that. So I pretty much sold right at the top. You know, that's how I prefer to trade, because you don't really know if the market is going to keep going. So, and it doesn't really matter if you're trading a prop firm account or if you're trading your real account, you always wanted to try to protect your profits. So that's pretty much what I was doing. You guys can go back and watch this video. I laid out this yellow box. I told you guys we're going to be drawing up into here. I don't know if we're going to get to this yellow line, which is the hourly swing high, but there's a million things that this market can draw up into, right? I have a million things on my chart. The only thing I'm waiting for now is this 1 hour candle to close, because if this 1 hour candle closes very strong, then we could possibly, you know, if we get a pullback, the last trade of the day could possibly look something like this, right? Just to be safe, we'll use, this is going to be the safest stop loss to use. For me, when the market is going in one direction very aggressively, sometimes I will use this gap right here as a stop loss. I can either use the bottom of the gap as a stop loss, or I can use the top of the gap as a stop loss, right? But the safest thing to do is to use, right, this order block down here, use the swing low of this order block as a stop loss, right? So that's why we will have to drop into the 1 minute time frame and be aware of some liquidity, right? And then be aware of this 1 minute gap right here, because you should be able to use, if we're going to continue to go up higher, you should be able to use this 1 minute breakaway gap as a stop loss as well, right? All potential trade ideas, you have to just be able to, you know, read price in real time and use your real time analysis to figure out where the market is going to go, right? Notice how we're not over trading. We're not really pressed to be in a trade. We're not really pressed to just find something magical every 2 seconds. You know, we're just relaxing. And the reason why I'm down on my account is because I don't get this luxury when I'm on the road as a truck driver. You know, sometimes I feel rushed. Sometimes I feel like I'm distracted. You know, there's a million things that can go wrong when I'm at work trying to trade, right? So we just waiting for this 1 hour candle to close. While we wait for this 1 hour candle to close, I'm going to be looking at some other charts, just so I can make sure I'm staying up to date with the rest of my watch list, because I don't always check my watch list. But I have been watching a lot of crypto. Where's the gold and silver? I want to see where gold and silver is at. What's good, Tribe Order Pips? Appreciate you for being in the chat. Make sure you drop a like on the video. If you have any charts or anything that you want me to take a look at, drop a comment down below. You know, I'm always interested in learning more about y'all watch lists, what you guys are trading. Right. So we're just waiting for this 1 hour candle to close above this swing high, right? We want to make sure we can get above this swing high, right? We're looking at this as a potential target, but we don't know if the market is going to go up there or not. All right, the midpoint of this wick right here, top of this little area, We was in a buy earlier, right? We was in the buy right as it broke above here, where we had a 2-minute fair value gap. That was on the 2-minute time frame. Let's go there, right? So price broke above here, we took a buy, and then we pretty much sold right above this liquidity, and then we also had hit a first presented fair value gap right here. So that was the reason why we sold. We got a little bit of a pullback and then continuation. I'm not really mad about missing the extra profits. I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the right side of the markets at all times. So we're essentially waiting for this 1 hour candle to make sure we're going to close above this level right here, because if we don't close above, then we can possibly see a retracement on a 5-minute time frame, right? We have order blocks, we have an order block, right? We have liquidity, we got liquidity. I don't think the market is going to drop magically and do all of this in one day. I think it's like more likely that we're just going to keep going higher and sweep this liquidity, but you know, just have to wait and see what the 1 hour time frame is going to do for us. So if we go up here and sweep this liquidity right now, that's going to pretty much be the day for me. I was in the 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio trade. I probably would have been up at least 1,500 by now. I was only risking I was only risking 500 to make 1,500. So I probably would have been up like 1,000 right now. Am I mad about it? Not at all. Like I said, on the 1-minute time frame, I was not going to be waiting through all of this chop right here. There's no way. It's easy to say, it's easy to, you know, beat yourself up and say, I should have held the trade longer, when you see that it's, you know, it's continuing up. Right, this red box on my chart is actually a new week opening gap as well. So we're going to be watching the midpoint of this right here. We don't know if we're going to get to this yellow line or not, but I'm watching very close to see how we react at the midpoint of these levels right here. So I'm watching the midpoint. Notice how the bodies of these candles on the 1-minute time frame are not closing above the midpoint of this new day opening gap. Then we also have the new week opening gap. So we're going to see what that does to price. Obviously, we broke above this yellow line right here, which is the swing high on the 1 hour time frame, right? The candle is getting ready to close in 4 seconds, so I doubt that it's going to just magically drop down.